The 911 call doesn't begin with screaming. It begins with silence. For several seconds, the dispatcher hears nothing but breathing, shallow, uneven, like the caller is trying to steady herself before speaking. Then a voice finally breaks through. I think my husband is dead." When officers arrive, the house appears untouched. The porch light is on. The television is still playing in the background. A half-empty glass sits on the coffee table. In the living room, a man lies motionless on the carpet. His name is Evan Mitchell. Standing a few feet away, his wife Laura watches quietly as paramedics move past her. She doesn't follow them. She doesn't cry out. She doesn't ask questions. At the time, police believe they're dealing with a sudden medical emergency, a tragedy. What they don't know yet is that this moment is the end of a story that began months earlier, one built on control, secrecy, and a truth hidden in plain sight. Evan and Laura Mitchell have been married for 6 years. From the outside, their life looked stable, predictable, comfortable. They lived in a quiet neighborhood. No complaints. No police visits. No public arguments. Evan worked in logistics management, a job built on schedules, efficiency, and problem solving. Laura worked remotely, handling administrative work for a small firm. Friends described him as private, but polite, not overly affectionate, but not distant either. There were no obvious warning signs. And that's what makes what comes next so difficult to understand. Laura tells officers she came home from work around 6:40 p.m. She says she found Evan already on the floor, unresponsive. She claimed she tried to wake him. Then CPR. Then she called 911. There's no sign of forced entry. No broken furniture. No blood spatter. No defensive wounds. The scene fits her explanation. For the first hour, investigators lean toward a medical collapse. A stroke, a heart issue, something sudden and catastrophic. But when paramedics pronounce Evan dead, one officer notices something that doesn't align. His body temperature suggests he's been dead longer than Laura claimed. Not hours. Closer to half a day. The autopsy is routine until it isn't. There is no heart defect, no aneurysm, no sign of natural disease. Instead, toxicology raises alarms. Evan's bloodstream contains a chemical that doesn't belong there. Not medication, not household cleaner. An industrial compound, tasteless, odorless when diluted. The medical examiner's conclusion is clear. Evan Mitchell did not die naturally. He was poisoned. Detectives bring Laura in to inform her the results. They expect shock, confusion, grief. What they get is something else. She listens, nods slowly, then asks one question. Are you sure? She doesn't ask how it happened. She doesn't ask who would do such a thing. She doesn't ask when. Just, are you sure? For seasoned investigators, it's a subtle red flag. Not proof, but a shift. The kind that makes a case turn inward. With a warrant, detectives return to the Mitchell home. They search room by room. The kitchen is spotless. No chemicals. No strange containers. No residue. The bathroom is ordinary. The bedroom untouched. Then they reach the garage. Behind old storage bins, tucked onto a high shelf, they find a plastic container wrapped in a grocery bag. No label. No fingerprints. Inside is trace residue. Lab results confirm it matches a substance found in Evan's system. Laura says she's never seen it before. She suggests it could belong to a previous homeowner. But records show the container was manufactured less than a year ago, and the Mitchells had lived there for 5. As detectives dig deeper, a timeline begins to form. Over the past 3 months, Evan had complained of persistent nausea, dizziness, and fatigue. He visited urgent care twice. Each time, doctors attributed his symptoms to stress. Each time, Laura drove him home. Medical records show something else. The symptoms were consistent, and they were worsening. Investigators obtained Laura's phone and computer records. Her internet search history spans months. How long does poisoning take to work? Can toxins mimic anxiety? Does poison always show up in blood tests? Can someone die slowly from small doses? These searches were conducted late at night, repeated, Escalating. Laura later claims curiosity. Detectives see planning. Friends describe Laura as attentive, sometimes overly so. She tracked Evan's schedule, checked his messages, questioned his co-workers. She framed it as concern, but texts reveal something different. If you loved me, you wouldn't need them. I worry when I don't know where you are. I just want to protect us. Psychologists later identified this pattern as coercive control, not loud, not violent, but constant. A tightening grip. Evan had recently begun confiding in a co-worker that he felt suffocated. He was considering leaving. The most damning evidence comes from Evan's phone, an accidental voicemail recording. In the background, Laura's voice is audible. "You don't need anyone else," she says calmly. "You have me." It isn't shouted. It isn't angry. It's certain. When detectives play the recording for Laura, she doesn't deny it. She doesn't explain it. She goes silent. Piece by piece, the story Laura told begins to fall apart. Her timeline doesn't match the medical findings. Her explanations contradict digital evidence. Her calm becomes conspicuous. Prosecutors later argue that Laura poisoned Evan gradually, increasing doses over time to weaken him, confuse doctors, and maintain control. When it became clear he was pulling away, she escalated. The final dose was fatal. Laura Mitchell never takes a stand. The prosecution presents months of digital searches, medical records, and psychological testimony. The defense argues circumstantial evidence. The jury deliberates for less than 6 hours. The verdict is unanimous. Guilty. Evan's family struggles with the realization that the signs were always there, just quiet. There were no bruises, no shouting matches, no dramatic warnings. Just patterns that didn't seem dangerous until it was too late. This wasn't crime of rage. It wasn't impulsive. It was methodical, controlled, invisible. In the end, the secret wasn't buried. It was ignored. Don't forget to subscribe.